Hey folks, your old pal Chicago Ray. I've been on the radio talking to drivers for about the last hour 15 minutes. And I'm talking to at least 10 drivers going the other way. I'm heading down from South Wisconsin. And they're going to start refusing loads in New York City starting on Monday. All right? I got about 3 drivers that I drive with. They already vibrated the boss and told them they ain't going to New York City.
All right, we have more changes unfolding right now around the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, New York City. Changes that have major transportation lines about to break down as working class truck drivers band together to once again take matters into their own hands to set the record straight in their minds, to reinforce decency, to fix the mistakes of our ruling class, protest government overreach. We saw this happen back in 2022 in Canada with the Freedom Convoy protesting the Trudeau government over mandates. A protest that worked, forced major attention to an issue that otherwise corporate media would have ignored, and forced change. The same thing happened a few weeks ago down in Texas, where thousands of truckers did the same thing over the porous southern border, or tried to do at least. That event wasn't nearly as large nor caused much of a disruption, and therefore didn't force any change. But this time, things may be different, as this time truckers plan on protesting one specific area, the island of New York City, with only a few points of ingress. A city that relies on truckers to make their deliveries, to supply and haul their food, supplies. In fact, almost 90% of all everyday items get to New York City via truck. Not train, not boat, but truck, which makes this trucker protest notable and possibly very important.
2 Ezra 16 verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. I'm the brother Yawanathan, back with another quick lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying. And today's date is Monday, February 19th, 2024, which is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And you saw the clip, so we're about to see in the next few days how true all of this really is. But you know, if it is true, yeah, we about to see some trouble in the cities, man. You know, we're gonna see riots, you're gonna see civil unrest, and obviously famine. You know, unless they get some way somehow to get some truckers to compromise their stance and deliver food to the cities, which they're saying that this whole thing is not going to end in nothing. You know, it's just propaganda, political propaganda. And to an extent, I can see that. But at the end of the day, we being the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shai on our watch, all right, we see all these things and we report on it. So that's the reason why I'm doing this lesson. Because at the end of the day, there is going to be a famine in America, Babylon the Great, really a global famine. And it's being done deliberately by the so-called white man, but not just any old so-called white man. We talking about the biblical Edomites here, the elites of Esau, Edom. You know, the World Economic Forum and the likes. You know, they're creating a famine as we speak. Okay, a famine. The word famine just means basically a lack of food and water. But does it necessarily mean that there isn't food and water? It just means you can't get the food and water. All right, it's basically limited or no access to resources. That a person can be in a famine and there's food all around them, but they can't access the food. And that's what we see taking place. So I'm gonna read a couple of scriptures here. It's gonna be a short lesson. This is the book of Ezekiel 4, verse 16, which says, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. When you click on that word staff, if you got the Blue Letter Bible app or you on the website, the word staff in the Hebrew is H4294. I'm going to just play it.
Strong's H4294. Mate. Mate.
And obviously they say it wrong. It really would be matah. And it says staff, branch. You got to go down a little bit. It basically says figuratively a support of life, i.e. bread, or e.g. bread, which is an example. That's a support of life. So a staff is basically a like the power source of something. So America, well, let's talk about New York for a second. Like the guy said in the lesson, in the video clip, Salaki, there's a lot of noise. What the guy was saying is that 90% of New York goods and resources, it comes from trucking. It doesn't come from boats. It doesn't come from trains. It comes from the truckers. So there's your staff of bread. The staff of New York City's bread is the trucking industry. So if anything happens to the trucking industry, all New Yorkers are going to be dramatically affected. And the effects of famine is not just starvation. All right, you get civil unrest, you get cannibalism. You just got to look through history, and you get something what's called supply and demand. You tag that along with the inflation, with the soon to come hyperinflation, and you got all out chaos in this city, man. When you pair hyperinflation with supply and demand, all right, which basically means that there's more demand than there is supply, which makes prices, people are gonna price gouge. Prices of things go up when it's in demand, and especially when there's less of it. So you just got a recipe for disaster, man, and it's gonna come. All right, it may not be this situation that brings it, but it's definitely going to come. There is going to be famines in these cities, and it's all throughout the scriptures. I'm reading one right here, Ezekiel 4 and 16. It says, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. And that's what you would call rations. And you have a lot of laws on the book, well, really executive orders here in America that deals with in the time of emergencies like FEMA, how they ration food, all right, how they're able to possess, or that's not the right word, to just say it plainly, to take your stuff, your food and your water, and to redistribute it and ration it throughout society. All right, that's why you have these FEMA regions, which is what we call zip codes. All right, and that's how they'll, basically organize when things get crazy, and it is going to get crazy. All right, and this is what's going to happen. It says that they may want bread and water and be astonied one with another and consume away for their iniquity. It says, then he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem, which is an equal before a place. So first and foremost, Salakia is going on to you Israelites and you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because you the main ones that's going to suffer through the time of famine. All right, these other people in America, other nations, mainly Esau, Edom, so-called white men, they know that the government, they know pretty much, they got a hint, an idea of what's coming. It's just you stupid ass Israelites that don't have an idea. You're not preparing for nothing. You're not trying to learn those skills. You're not trying to acquire any form of knowledge to help you through these times, because y'all don't even believe that these times are coming. But see, the regular so-called white man, he knows that there's going to be a famine here in America. So he's preparing. So the Lord, he got something against you 2/3, which is why this time is also known as, in the scriptures, the time of Jacob's trouble. So it says, it will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. So when you're eating something fearfully, you're saying, I don't even know when I'm going to get some more, so I'm not going to eat all of this. I'm going to eat only a little bit. Because you in fear, thinking maybe this is going to be the last food I ever see. It says the water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. And what does it mean to waste away? To starve to death, for your body to basically eat itself alive. And that's the horrific effects of starvation. The steps to a person starving to death is very brutal. It tells you that in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, it's better to die by the sword. It would be better if somebody just come and kill you for the last little bit of what you got than for you to, be eating that last bit. And now you in a mental hell because you don't know where the next thing is going to come from. You don't know if you're going to get any more food. So now you're already suffering mentally, and then you don't find any food. And now little by little, you're just breaking down. Your body is just eating away. It's pining away, as the scriptures say. That's horrendous, man. But that's how the Lord is going to judge here in these last days. And it's going to be a global famine. It's not just going to be here in America. All right, so let me get 2nd Esdras, another scripture in 2nd Esdras. Actually, probably 2 more, and I'll close it out. 2nd Esdras 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, so there goes a famine right there. Any extra food and water, any stored up and stocked resources that America has, they've been depleting it since the C-19. If you people have been paying attention, but you're not. But we're not talking to you people. At the end of the day, we're talking to the elect. All right, the elect of the nation of Israel. Excuse me. All right, so it's really, hey, you people are just food for the Lord for his day of judgment. You people are just going to be the fuel for the fire. So you see what I mean? And like it says, these full storehouses in which people rely on that. People have confidence in America because they so abundant with resources, when in all reality, if you've been paying attention, all right, a man-made famine has been developing, man. All right, and they're getting ready to just pull the plug on this place. See what I mean? Which is going to be what, 2nd Esdras, 15, and get straight to the point. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So that's what's coming. These cities, these inner cities, these metropolitan cities where you don't have no farmland, you don't have no access to resources outside of the structure that was built for you, which was built by the so-called white man. He's a devil. All right, he basically ensnared you people by bringing you into the cities, making it look so attractive, making everything so easy to access. And then what happens when he don't give you access to it no more? What you people gonna do? You're gonna try to go out into the wilderness, into the woods and hunt? You people have no hunting skills, all right? Like they have that phrase, man, weak men create hard times create strong men create good times, and good times create weak men. So it's a perpetual cycle of when you basically make somebody so docile that they don't have to do anything. You go later down the line, that person has to face adversity. They don't know what to do. All right, because they never had to fend for themselves. So these are the days that's coming to these cities, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, so a lack of bread, he said at the beginning of famine and great death. Famine is going to bring about death, man, and tribulation. Chaos, anarchy, cannibalism. That's another effect of famine. People start to eat each other. All right, so this thing eventually is going to spiral out of control. We don't know if this is going to be what it's going to do. Let's see. Like I said, today's Monday. This is supposed to be the first day that they're going to start denying loads that's coming in New York. So we're just going to have to wait and see as this develops throughout the week. But with that, I'm going to say, call Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai. Hope and pray this lesson was edifying to the elect. And I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.